The Russian military has begun a brutal assault on the people of Ukraine. Without provocation, without justification, without necessity, this is a premeditated attack. Vladimir Putin has been planning this for months, as we've been saying all along. He moved more than 175,000 troops, military equipment and positions along the Ukrainian border.
Look at the humanitarian issue now. We now understand that 1 million people have flooded out of Ukraine in the past week since the Russian invasion began. It's created a humanitarian disaster of epic proportions. And with no sign of Russian aggression stopping and a number of key cities under attack, the situation is likely to get worse. Let's discuss the human cost of this ongoing conflict. I'm joined now by Laura Paduan, spokesperson for the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees. Laura, thank you so much for your time. What are the latest numbers about how many people are believed to have crossed over from Ukraine since the invasion began?
Good evening. Well, today we reached the tragic milestone of 1 million people who have fled to neighbouring Poland, Hungary, Romania and Slovakia. I mean, rarely have we seen an exodus of this scale and magnitude. What we're witnessing now in Ukraine is tremendous human suffering. Civilians are being targeted, civilian infrastructure is being targeted, and the number of casualties is rising incredibly quickly. We estimate that around 12 million people inside Ukraine are in need of assistance, and that if the conflict continues, up to 4 million people could cross into neighbouring countries as refugees. So it's an incredibly alarming situation.
Yes, my husband and from another side waiting for us. Oh, I don't know. Between us, it's 27 kilometers. And you're gonna walk? Yes, I want home.
What's the point of staying there essentially? Because things might escalated essentially, and then you gotta make a decision, and because we've got family, we've got kids, as you can see, and it's the best thing to do. I mean, especially now, because you never know what's going to happen.
Уезжаем мы из Одесской области, потому что, как видите, дети сзади, страшно. У нас война, и как мать, я боюсь за своего ребенка, и пока есть возможность выехать, мы пытаемся выехать в сторону Молдавии.
Už je to lepšie. Bolo to na začiatku chaotické, ale teraz sa to tak už postupne uklidnilo. Veľmi veľa ľudí má odvoz zabezpečený, aj vie, kam smeruje, a takých 10% asi nemá ani zabezpečený, vlastne ani ubytovanie, ani...
These people left without taking the blacks, man. None of the blacks, man.
There's been a lot of segregation and racism. It seems like there's a hierarchy of Ukrainians first, Indians second, Africans last. So there has been a lot of segregation in that sense. And then amongst the communities trying to flee Ukraine, there's been a lot of violence.
Я тобі зараз скажу, хто я. Привіт! Я зараз цей телефон.
These are the black community. We are not allowing any black people to enter inside the gate. We are all here. It's only Ukrainians that they are allowing in. Even the ones with kids.
हम लोग सब रोमानियन बॉर्डर पे खड़े हैं, रोमानियन यूक्रेनियन बॉर्डर पे। अराउंड 500 to 600 बच्चे हैं। ये लोग यूक्रेनियंस को बहुत प्रेफर कर रहे हैं, यूक्रेनियंस को ही प्रेफरेंस दे रहे हैं, इंडियंस को 1 या 2 निकाल रहे हैं एट अ टाइम।
On est là exposé dehors avec le froid qu'il y a ici. On ne nous donne toujours pas où nous abriter au fait. On est exposé avec le froid.
यहाँ पे ठंड इतनी है कि हम बता नहीं सकते, इतना ठंड, और कुछ शेल्टर नहीं है, वॉशरूम का कोई ये नहीं है, शेल्टर नहीं है, कहीं पे कुछ खाने पीने का कुछ ये नहीं है, रेस्टोरेंट नहीं है, पूरा ओवर क्राउडेड हो गया है।
We are being thrown out to the train. They are not even allowing us in. Indian students are being attacked with sticks and stuff.
We don't have arms! We don't have arms! We don't have arms! We are students! We are students! We are students! We are students! Take out your phone! Take out your phone!
Стой!
Замена! Плюс! Пошел!
Ukrainian forces claimed a major win in the port of Berdyansk, blowing up a Russian landing support ship, the Orsk, which had been used to bring in vehicles and supplies. Helpfully, Russian state television had run extensive pictures of precisely where the ship was and what it was unloading.
Well, forgive me though, but there's a lot of money that's being spent of the.
Well, wait a minute. Forgive me. People say, well, we've committed X billion dollars, or we're pledged to give this weapon system. This is government talk. This is the talk of inputs. The question, particularly in a war, is outputs. And we can certainly say that the Ukrainian army has fought bravely and quite well. But the issue now is whether all of the rhetoric, all of the commitments that different NATO members have made are actually translated into reality, and that remains to be seen.
But in terms of the money that has been spent, at the time we're talking, it's 3.65 billion for weapon transfers and sales to Ukraine.
Well, wait
another
a minute, though.
3 billion
It's
if I may
announced.
finish, another 3 billion to.
It's announced.
You don't think that's actually happened?
Do you believe that $3.6 billion of weapons have crossed the Ukrainian frontier and are now in Ukraine?
I have no answer to that or no expertise.
But that's the point, isn't it? We're in a race for time. Russia's military performance has been appalling, and the point that we're at now is whether we get weapons and munitions to the Ukrainian army before Putin and the Russians can regroup and achieve their objectives. And that remains to be seen.